What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good weekend, a good Saturday. So this video is a little different than what I normally do because anyone that watches my channel, you know I normally talk about like rap music or do like a vape review or something, but I do listen to other genres. And this band that I'm about to talk about was one of the first like real rock bands that I liked. So I got a long history listening to music. They mean a lot to me as a band. And I'm talking about The Killers. They dropped off their new album yesterday. It's called Pressure Machine. I already listened to it, listened to the whole thing, and it's fire, man. Like, honestly, first let me say what the point of the video is. I'm gonna do a sales projection, a sales prediction on it, what I think it's gonna sell in the first week. For those of you new to this, because I'm sure there's gonna be Killers fans on here that have never seen any of my videos. So, but basically, I listened to the album, and it's good, man. It's. I have never heard a bad song from The Killers. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real with you guys. And I don't check for a lot of like rock music. It's hard for me to keep up with all these kind of genres of music at the same time. But anytime I see that The Killers dropped a new album, I'm always like in tune to that shit, because when I'm gonna tell you my favorite song by The Killers, and I'm sure people are gonna disagree with me, but Sam's Town, man, to me, that's one of the best songs of all time across all genres of music. Sam's Town, when I first heard that song back in 06, or it might even came out in late 05, but I think it was 06, I was floored. I was just like, man, this song is speaking to me. I love this song. It's just everything about it. And I know they had the album Hot Fuss and all that prior to Sam's Town, but I had heard them, I had listened to them, but Sam's Town is what really pulled me in to The Killers. And I remember I went to Target in 06 when that album came out, and I had heard that song, so I was like, I'm gonna buy this album. And I loved it. I loved it, like every song on there from what I remember. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago, and I haven't really gone back and listened to the whole album in years. But I remember at the time, I was just like enthralled. I was like, I love this album. It's so good. And then I went back and I read the reviews from the like music publications, and they were saying that it was trash. And I'm like, are we listening to the same thing here? Like, this shit's fire. What The Killers remind me of, honestly, is their music. They're very good at telling stories. It's almost like you're listening instead of watching to like a really good television show with a really good like story. So like they're really good at like doing that. And honestly, Brandon Flowers, to me, he's like, and this is just my opinion, I think he's one of the best singers in rock music, and alternative rock, whatever you want to call it. I think he has one of the best voices. I think he's one of the best singers in this day and age currently singing. Like, I think he's phenomenal. And I always check for The Killers stuff. Even though I'm, like I said at the beginning, I'm not really in tune to rock like that. Like rap, I could talk about that all day with you guys. Anyone wants to talk about rap music, let's go. We can have a conversation. I know what's going on with rap. Rock, not so much. So there's a lot of bands I don't know, I don't hear. And I would love, listen, if you're watching this video and you're a big rock guy or rock girl, and you know, you can give me some recommendations on who to listen to, put that shit in the comments. Like, I'm down to check new stuff out. I just don't have any friends that are into rock either, so I don't have anyone that can really tell me how to get into stuff. Like with rap, there's websites that I you know, go to on a regular basis to get information, and I'm actually really involved in that. So I know when new artists come out, I can get into rap like that. Rock, I don't know the best websites. I don't know where to go to discover new bands and new music. So it's harder for me to get into that. But unless I hear some random song on the radio that I really like, or like I see a video, then I'll check more deep into it. But like I said, The Killers have been on my radar since over 15 years ago. And I've been a big fan ever since, and all their stuff. Every now and then, even with them, and I'm a big Killers fan, they're probably one of my favorite rock bands out there. I can't think of one that I like more. I mean, unless we go into like pop punk, I like Fall Out Boy. I like, like I said, I'm not huge in rock, but I'm a huge Killers fan. All their stuff's good. But even with them, being as big of a fan of them as I am, I will sometimes lose track of their releases, and I won't hear about it until after the fact. So it'll have come out like a year or 2 years prior, and I'll be like, oh, I missed the Killers album, so I'll go listen to it. I'm like, man, this is fire. But this one, the new one that just came out yesterday, I happened to just see that it was on iTunes because I was scrolling through randomly, and I saw it was at #1. And I'm like, oh, Killers dropped a new album. And then I saw they had one last year, And I was like, oh, I missed that one. So I haven't got through that one, but I listened to the new one that just came out yesterday. And the other one I got through a couple of tracks. So I'm gonna go back and listen to it. But man, Killers, they never fail to impress. Their stuff's always good. Highly recommend. If you never listen to Killers, listen to them because they're super talented. Brandon Flowers, like I said, amazing singer, amazing producer, amazing songwriter. Really talented guy. So I love the Killers. What are they gonna sell in the first week? Well, one thing I noticed about the Killers, they don't even have to sell that good in the US because they're so big in the United Kingdom that it kind of offsets their sales here. Like, believe it or not, every single album they've put out, I think they put out 6 or 7, something like that, has debuted at #1 in the UK. Every album. In the US, it's up and down. It's usually top 10 somewhere. I think they hit #1 in the US one time, but in the UK, it never fails. They always go #1. So they got a huge fan base in the UK. So even if they tanked in the US, you know, the UK is gonna hook them up with some sales. So, you know, with them, you almost have to look at it from more of a worldwide perspective. Like, not just what are they selling in the US. Like with rappers, it's normally US. Not too many rappers, besides maybe Eminem and a couple others, can have these huge sales over in the UK as well. Killers are different. Whether they sell in the US or not, they're gonna sell in the UK. But I do think this one's gonna sell decent. Like I said earlier, it was at #1 on iTunes. And I think it's probably gonna debut at #1 again in the UK because obviously they got a solid fan base over in the UK. Shout out to the UK, by the way. I do have some viewers from the UK. I know that for a fact. So shout out to the UK. Shout out to you guys. I was about to say I love European culture, but I guess you guys left the Union, so I love the UK culture, I guess. But anyway, I think they're gonna sell about I honestly think this one's gonna outsell some of the more recent material. I think it's gonna do 40 to 50K in the first week. That's my prediction. I don't know what else came out this week. I know there was a couple rap releases, so I don't know if they're gonna go #1 necessarily. Probably not, because you got Billie Eilish, she's still selling and stuff like that. But there's no big releases this week, except for that Dan and Shay, which I don't know anything about country, so I can't speak on that. But they might sell decent. I know they had a hit with Justin Bieber a few years ago. That's the only thing I know about Dan and Shay. So I don't think they're gonna go #1, talking about the Killers again. But I do think that they are gonna debut in the top 10 as per usual, and they'll probably do about 40 to 50K. And it may dip a little under, maybe do 30 something. But with this album, I noticed they didn't release any singles. It's more of a real story-based album. So because it's all a surprise and to an extent to their fans, it might actually sell more because people aren't gonna wanna just buy individual tracks. They're gonna wanna hear the entire full LP. So yeah, interesting LP, by the way. Definitely check it out. That's what I think it's gonna do. Top 10 debut, 40 to 50K in the first week. And please subscribe if you haven't, guys. Give me a like and let me know in the comments what you think they're gonna sell. And like I said, give me some rock band recommendations, and I'll talk to you guys later.